Hey, everybody. This is Gary Jackson from Hip2B², co-founder and comedy extraordinary. I don't know. I'm just trying to brag a little bit. I am super excited about today's show. Not only has it got some of my favorite comics that I've worked with and I love working with, one of the comics was cool enough to suck up and cook for us tonight. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And with that being said, I'm going to introduce him first because he sucked up and he cooked for us. It is the lead chef to Southern Grit here in Knoxville, Kevin Shockley. Hey.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, it's funny to have you in. It's funny to have you in a closet right behind me. How does that feel? How do you like that?
Feels like a lot of your childhood, Gary.
Well, Kevin, by the way, this food is amazing. I'll be chomping on it. I think all of us are eating as we're doing this. But let's get this started with our next opener, who I've done shows with all across Asia, Hong Kong, Cebu, Philippines. He's in my my hood, my hometown of Atlanta, Georgia. Giving it to him, William Childress. That was weird. I don't know why I said giving it to you. But
Look, I was with you. I was rolling with it, man. Thank you. Happy to be here, everybody.
It's good to have you, William. By the way, so this is, I think the last time I saw you was probably back in 2015 or something like that. Was that right?
Yeah, that was probably, yeah, I'm sure we did gigs in Hong Kong sometime in 2015. Yeah. And then, was that the year that I did Comedy Cebu?
I think it was. Yeah, you came over and we had, it was something, to be honest, when you're in Asia, when you're in Asia and you find someone who's a Southern boy like yourself, likes football. You're a Clemson fan. I was an Auburn fan. You'll notice I said was. We'll talk about that a little bit later. To be able to talk about college football all the way across on the other side of the world just felt like home. So
on top of that, the Philippines has great pulled pork. I mean, they have
pulled
pork about as good as the South does. So
yeah, it's close though. It's very, very close. It's very close. And I guess we should bring the headliner. The whole reason why we're coming together is the man of the hour, all the way from Virginia, giving it up for just Tim, not Tim Young.
I'm sorry, I fell asleep while I was waiting. Jesus, I mean,
it's good to see you, man. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm great. It's good to see all you guys. I want some of those grits that Kevin cooked. I don't know what they were. Some kind of breakfast. He cooked breakfast for you, right?
And then, yeah, he cooked. Yeah, there he is. I'm already starting to eat it. It's really phenomenal. So, by the way, Tim, I just wanted to clarify something. So, you are in you're in Montana. You were in Montana last week. Is that correct?
That's right. Floating down a river.
Nice.
With your dog?
No. Our dog hates the water. She is. I have a Great Pyrenees, and she won't go near the water. I'm going to show you a picture though of the river trip. Can you see that? That's our river trip.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Woo-hoo. Tim, what part of Montana were you in?
We were floating from on the North Fork. Down towards the Flathead Lake. Yeah, we floated like maybe 60 or 70 miles from the Canadian border all the way down to the lake, almost all the way to the lake, like Kalispell.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so great. No cell service, no nothing, no clothing at some point. Yeah.
Hey, sorry about that. Yeah, my internet's a little weak right now, so I think as you can tell behind me, I have every internet contraption in the world behind me. So I think I'm sucking up every. Yeah, it's like I have no bandwidth, but hopefully it's getting better. I'm going to help Kevin too because his internet's getting a little slow. But I just wanted to kind of let people know before I forget. There's a lot of stuff happening that weekend that you're coming, so Tim, you're going to be here on the 30th of June, the 1st of July. You're driving down. You're going to be doing the Appalachian Trail. Is that correct?
A little bit. Maybe the Linville Gorge, maybe some stuff on the way. Down by you, maybe we're going to explore.
That's good.
Any recommendations are welcome.
Yeah, Kevin might know more than I would. Do you have any recommendations, Kevin, for where Tim should go?
Go do what?
Well, we're gonna go hiking and.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm reading lips here, boys, and I'm bad at it. Okay.
Okay.
Hiking. Yeah. There's Imes,
the most
a nice little thing
backwards.
over here in Knoxville.
Yeah, we want to find hillbillies, moonshine, some scary situations.
Yeah. By the way, a lot of moonshine, some fantastic moonshine. So we'll hook you up with that. Actually, me and my wife had some last night. It was phenomenal. Very, very good. And but I did want to say something special that we're going to be doing for the show, and then we'll get into this. Is we're basically going. We're going to be sponsored, helping Young Williams Animal Center. So your show, Tim, all 4 shows is called Doggone Comedy Nights. So that means that what we're going to be doing is we will be basically trying to sponsor and help Young Williams Animal Center. And we actually have a discount code that we can do here. So check this out. So use Doggone for $5 off, and it's donated to Young Williams Animal Center. And the reason we're doing this is because you're bringing your dog in. Is that right, Tim?
Oh, yeah. Yes. I love this. This is so fantastic. Can I bring my dog onto the stage?
Actually, that's the goal. We want you to bring her to the show. Just make sure that she doesn't bite anybody. But I think that the animal center will be there. They will be recruiting. They will be trying to get dogs adopted, that type of thing. And if you don't mind, just for 1 second, so I can help Kevin with this, I was going to play like a 60-second little blurb about Young Williams Animal Center, and then we'll come right back and start talking again. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. Let me just get this set up so you can kind of see what it's all about.
One of our biggest challenges is space, and it's always been an age-old problem within the sheltering community, and definitely during the pandemic we saw that tenfold as more animals started to come through our doors. So, nationally as an organization, all the organizations are really working together to address that and certainly meet the needs of homeless animals in all of our communities. Managed intake is something we started several years ago. For years we taught the community that we're a dumping ground for animals. So in order to implement managed intake, it was really the opportunity, it's an appointment-based system, the opportunity to create two-way dialogue with pet owners as to why they're surrendering a pet. And we know that more than 40% of people don't want to surrender. And so we wanted to start creating more safety net and intake diversion programs. Through our Pet Resource Center, we offer our pet food pantry, we offer behavioral assistance, we offer grant funding for acute medical issues, we offer longer term boarding for people that are going through crisis, be it domestic violence, be it human medical emergencies, housing transition, etc. Really, our ultimate goal with our Pet Resource Center is we want to keep pets with their people. And how do we do that but providing resources for those pet owners based on whatever their challenges might be? So the Pet Resource Center has had a remarkable impact on the pet owners of our community. In 2021, we were able to keep more than 4,700 pets with their people through the resources that we provide, including the pet food pantry, which alone we gave away more than 18 tons of pet food to pet owners and for pets of our community. It's about problem solving. It's about being solutions driven as an animal welfare community with other organizations. One of the things that I'm a big proponent of is really, rising tide lifts all boats. And so when organizations come together, they share information, they share resources. It really helps to become, problem solvers around animal welfare and homeless animals in our communities.
So I'm super excited about that. I hope you are too, Tim, because I think
that's going to be so great.
You guys hear me okay?
Say what?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. You sound sexy as everything. I had to move Kevin upstairs, so that family that's behind him is not his family.
Yeah, I am now. Yeah, I can hear you guys. I wasn't just like I'm not What?
So I wanted to go. So first of all, I just want to make sure that I'm very excited about this and being able to sponsor with them. We were going to do a couple of shows where you bring your dog, you get a free ticket, and we were going to do it outside. That's what you were asking me about yesterday, Tim.
Yeah.
We're going to do it in the World Fairground, but then the city kind of got worried about hundreds of dogs showing up and pooping on the World Fair Park and fighting. So we had to shut that down. So.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to protest that and just go out there and just poop on it ourselves. I'll be there. You guys can show up if you want.
I'll be there. I'll
Nothing like a
definitely.
physical
There's.
protest.
I mean, talk to my wife. I love to poop, so it works out great. That was weird. I'm sorry, that came out
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's awkward. That's fine.
Yeah, sorry. So let's go around the way and just kind of explain to each other. So Kevin, I know you're the Knoxvillian, the local Knoxvillian comic that's here. What's your background like? How did you get into this? How did you get into the Knoxville scene? Just so set the stage for William and Tim.
Well, mine is an age-old story of met a girl, and she convinced me I was funny enough for it.
Mm.
There's nothing flashy about it, man.
Are y'all still together?
What?
Are you still together?
No, of course not. That's not how that works. But she convinced me to give it a
That's the way
whirl
it is.
at Press Pub, and
Right.
I've loved it ever since.
Nice. And you're also a
Yes,
chef.
yes.
So you're also a chef, right?
Yeah, in my free time.
I like it that you really you're a very talkative person. I really like that, Kevin. That's very good. But by the way, the food is amazing. I just want to let you know it sucks for all of you guys, but it's really, really good. And Kevin, I'm super excited about having him come on. By the way, I'm just going to let both of you know, Kevin's been coming to every one of our shows. You know, he watched Paul, he watched Mike, he watched Camille, taking notes, like studying them. So he's bringing his A game. I'm building it up way too much, Kevin, but he's bringing his A game. So I'm very excited about having him come up. Yeah. And then William, tell your background. I mean, you're a jack of many trades. Talk about your background, how you got into this.
Yeah, man, I was always wanted to get into stand up. Didn't really know where to start coming from upstate South Carolina. It just wasn't like I wasn't, close to it. I felt like when I moved to China for work, I was working over there as an architect and started doing stand up over there and just did shows all over Asia. We did some together. Now back in my home in the South, working here in Atlanta and continuing to get out and do stand up and travel around and do it too.
But you're still doing architecture work as well, correct?
Oh yeah, I'm a licensed architect.
Wow. So do you see buildings and you're like, they could do better?
Well, yeah, most of the time. I mean, there's plenty I can tell you about developers, but Right.
I want to definitely, when we have our after party, and I want to hear the stories about, I knew that building was going to fall, when you're, especially your work in Burma. And I really feel like you left Myanmar right at the nick of time, because I think your comedy club closed right before they started. The junta just started shutting everything down.
Yeah. It did. I feel, bad. Feel terrible for the Burmese people under the boot of the military junta. But I had a great time living and working over there. They're awesome people. We did do one building that wasn't going to be up to code, but we quit the project. And we tried to explain it to the owner, and the owner was like, look, I'm a soldier, not an engineer. Right. Because the military owns everything there.
Do you think they finished the building or no?
It got finished, I think.
Okay, but you're like, I'm out
with modifications, and if I was an international company, I wouldn't let people live there. So,
okay. Well, with that being said, speaking of international, this man's been everywhere. Tim, so you were in Montana, boy. I don't know. That was a weird sound effect.
No, but I'm to every state. For sure.
Yeah. I met you by accident. I remember that night I met you performing in Hong Kong. I wasn't going to go to your show. I just flown in. I was exhausted. I went to your show. I was crying. I really laughed. I think some of the jokes that you did, you were just kind of filling out the audience. I think even nowadays, I don't even think you can do some of those jokes, but I just laughed.
Probably not.
And then we
Yeah, who knows? I didn't know what I was going to run into there because I didn't know it was going to be an expat community or like a mixture of people. So who knows? That was my first Asian gig, so
right.
It was fun. It was fun.
And remember too, after that, we took you to One Child, the red light district, and a woman of the night jumped on your back.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to beg her to get off of you. Like she really wanted to give her services to you really bad. I've never seen that. Brought a lot of comics to Hong Kong. Not even Dave Chappelle, when he was in One Shy, got a woman of the night on his back.
That makes me feel so good, Gary. That makes me feel so nice. I really appreciate that. I'm going to put that in my Tinder profile. really desired by the Hong Kong hookers.
Well, where have you been?
That was like running the gamut. They were all like, it was interesting.
Yes. Yeah. So what's your background? How did you get into this, Tim? Like what started this whole adventure?
I was kidnapped and forced to do stand. No, it's not really. I have a pretty traditional path. I was in theater, and then I was doing an improv group, and then I would take the improv onto the stage, and then I just started to do that by myself. I was doing characters and stuff. It's interesting because I just watched the Robin Williams documentary on HBO, and our beginning paths were similar. He did theater, and then he would do improv, and then he took that improv into the clubs, and that's exactly what I did. And then I just started working alone, which is, I think, a hallmark of a comedian. We don't work well with others. So,
agreed. Yeah. But you've been kind of doing. I mean, how did COVID hit you? I mean, that had to be a hard blow when COVID hit.
Yeah, COVID was hard. I mean, it shut down everything, and so you just pick up jobs here and there. I mean, luckily our government came through surprisingly and started giving stand-up comedians unemployment, which is unheard of in the history of all unemployment. Wow. But it helped, you know what I mean? And then we'd pick up gigs here and there, and there were Zoom comedy shows, which was like a nightmare. I sat in on a few of those and decided never to do one. It's just like, I said it was like having sex with a clown through a sheet. It's like you could hit. It's the worst. It's the worst. Man. And one show I did a parking lot show. I don't know if you guys ever did one of those, but they put us in a parking lot in a mall, and we were on the stage, and they projected us onto the screens, and then everybody else is in the parked cars. So they would like honk their horns and blink their lights if they thought it was funny, but you couldn't tell. It's the same as a heckle. So you couldn't tell if they hated you or if they liked you. It was very hard to tell. So that also was like emotionally unsatisfying. But it was a paycheck in the midst of a bleak time. So it was nice.
Did you ever consider like, okay, this is it. I can't keep doing this.
No, I knew it was going to come back. I mean, there are industries that are just not going to shut down. I work on cruise ships. And the cruise ship industry is not going to just fold over like that. There's no way. I knew they'd find a way to come back. The clubs were having a hard time, but I also knew they'd find a way to come back. So, I mean, everybody's livelihood was like involved. And when there's $1 billion corporation there, they're going to get back up on their feet. So it was just a matter of time, waiting it out.
Is there a cruise ship that you're fancy? I mean, which the one you go with the most, if you don't mind me asking, or you don't have to plug them.
I personally, no, it's fine. I mean, they treat me well. I work for Carnival.
Oh, cool.
And I personally like that one the best because Carnival has a dedicated comedy club in the back. So they let us do pretty much for the adult shows. They let us do pretty much whatever we want, except we can't like crap on the brand, obviously, but other than that, it's pretty much free range to do whatever we want. So it's just like a comedy club, more or less.
But the only difference is you're stuck on the boat for 3 or 4 days, so you must get the same audience coming in, and if you didn't kill on one, it must be really hard to bring them in on their back.
Well, yeah, you have to coordinate. So we do like 5 or 6 different half an hours, or I do. So throughout the cruise, I'm doing like half an hour, and they're all different. So yeah, I make sure I hit them hard at the first one, so it's a good advertisement for them to come back. But yeah, you are stuck on the ship, so you don't want to bomb on the ship with people that you have to hang out with.
Right. Well, so William, I know you were saying, where you live, you're right walking distance, or you were walking distance from the comedy clubs, and your home club was my old home club, the Laughing Skull.
Yeah, man.
Right. And Marshall Childs and them. I mean, how's the Atlanta scene right now?
I think the Atlanta scene is pretty incredible. I mean, there's a ton of amazing comics out here doing stuff. What we really only lack is a club that I love the Laughing Skull, but it seats like 80,
Right.
We are missing, and we have some, but we're missing like a 300, 400 seater, like a Zany's Nashville is kind of what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Because right now we get tons of theater shows coming through, but we could use something like that. But I mean, there's so many good comics coming out of here, and there's a lot of great comics you see, on late night and on like Fox and stuff that got their start. Michael Rowland with that Animal Control show, Dulce Sloan on the Daily Show, Blair Erskine on Jimmy Kimmel. Like all these people are like recent Atlanta comics. So,
wow. Why is that? It's funny. So in Knoxville, the reason that we even started doing this was we really, we had a good local scene, and then we have a big Coliseum and a theater scene, but we had no middle.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to mash together, and I'll be selfish too. I wanted, William, you're the first, and you and Paul are my first ones to bring in from the Asian scene, because I wanted to mash together our Filipino friends and mash together our Shanghai and Beijing friends and Australian friends with local or, I guess domestic comics, if you will. I wanted to create like a goulash, if you will. I don't know if that's the right word from an analogy perspective, but I really wanted to kind of mash all these people together. And so we were very lucky. We have a 250 person one, but trying to drive them to the club has been, that's not been easy. So, I mean, I hate it that Atlanta doesn't have a 251 where you guys are going to be performing, and Kevin can attest to this. You're right in the heart of Knoxville. And, it's walking distance to everywhere. So, it's a beautiful place to do it. We just got to get the word out. And that's probably been the most difficult.
Yeah. You got to get out there with a sandwich board, man, like a chicken suit. You got to pull out all the stops.
Yeah. I mean, my wife is
that guy, the guy, the inflatable guy.
Yep. My wife was saying the exact same thing. Next weekend or this upcoming weekend, we're just going to be hitting it hard with she's actually not going to be here. So what's kind of weird is I was looking forward for you to be able to meet my wife, but she's actually flying to Vegas because she's running her own, she's running a Las Vegas Super Congress. She's taking over the Tropicana Hotel. So I'm going to be all by myself with some of my coolest dudes. So I hope I don't catch the house on fire is what I'm looking at. So, so we'll see. But so Kevin, I know, how do you feel with this? I mean, I know you're kind of coming into some people that I've worked with before. How do you feel the Knoxville scene? You've been here the longest. You've started. I mean, what do you think of the Knoxville scene so far?
I think the Knoxville scene's great. I've seen it dip there when everybody got sick. But I saw an amazing recovery, like the Phoenix from the ashes. We got a lot of wonderful shows happening in town. Almost weekly, we have almost all week we have shows now happening. We've got the Don't Tell happening here in Knoxville now. That Hip2B² has been a delight to see all over Knoxville. That little orange square.
Thank you. I was like, what orange square? Oh, that's me. I'm a little slow.
Getting to do Central Cinema is always wonderful here in Knoxville. I think IMS even hosts the occasional showcase. So it's Knoxville's really it's budding right now with the comedy scene, and I'm glad that I get to be at least in some part of it.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's been a lot of fun too, because we're at that really beautiful stage right now where we can all, you've seen this before, William, and I'm pretty sure you have seen this too, Tim, where you start creating a scene and it gets very political and people are like, oh, I've been on that show, but you don't go on this show. And we're at that place where I just want them all to win, everybody to win. Just go out there and crush it. That's been, I mean, basically I think the last show we had Chelsea Handler come through. We had the Redwell, Well Red, I think it was, or Redwell team come through. And then we had Mike come through. And then we had Don't Tell Comedy all in one weekend in Knoxville. So it was a busy, busy weekend. So yeah, we really want to promote. And by the way, speaking of that, we're doing something a little different for this show too. I don't know if I've said that yet, but we're doing this thing called a triple feature ticket. So we wanted to make sure that people aren't like held back from seeing the shows. We've got a lot of comics coming in. So we got you, Tim, and then after we got Dwayne Perkins, which Tim, I think you've performed with Dwayne, right?
Yeah, I know Dwayne. He's super, super funny, super clever, super funny.
And super chill. And I know William, I know you know Dwayne, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. He's a great dude.
Yeah. And then the next one is Caitlin Palafo, who's going to be coming in from New York City. And I've performed with her in Asheville, just loved her. So we're doing a triple, let me show you this. So we're doing something a little cooler, what I wanted to kind of throw up there so people can see. So I'm going to, let me do this. I'm going to take everybody out for a second. And I'm going to do this part. Whoops. So sorry, I didn't think that one out very well. But anyway, what we got there is
great. I had a seizure just now.
But what we have there is what you do is you buy one ticket, you get all tickets. So you can buy one price, go to any show whenever you want. You know, one of the biggest problems we had with some of our previous Knoxville shows, we had audience members that wanted to go to the next show, and they could definitely buy tickets, but like, I don't want to. Now they can buy as many as they want. You know, they buy one price, they get a ticket, and then go to as many shows as they want to, and they can go and see all the comics that they want to see too, which I'm pretty excited about doing that. And they have more details there on the Hip2B² comedy.com triple, which is kind of the triple feature piece there. So I'm very excited about that. So what are you anticipating, Tim? What are you anticipating? What do you think of Knoxville? Have you been in Knoxville before, Tim?
Oh yeah, I've been in Knoxville.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hang out with these two guys. Steven and William. Steven's going to cook us some good food.
No, Kevin.
Kevin.
It's Shockley.
Hold on, I need to go to the chat and figure out the names. Kevin and William. Kevin and William, right?
You got it.
Okay. Kevin,
you good.
Your eggs are delicious. William is an architect, and this is what I like to do, William. I like to go find some buildings that are being built in Knoxville.
Yeah.
And we can stand outside the buildings, and we can heckle the architect inside. Would that be cool?
I might know him.
What's bad about it? What sucks about the building? Like that.
Yeah.
That archway sucks, man.
No, I'm just going to go to the University of Tennessee Architecture School and just boo them.
Oh, yeah, we should. Yeah, those students.
I mean, because you're Clemson. You got to bring your Clemson gear. Yeah, if you want to really be booed yourself. So bring your Clemson. But I don't think there's not a lot of hate between Tennessee and Clemson.
Well, I mean, Tennessee just beat Clemson in a bowl game, but we are, we're the better team. I mean, we're the better orange as well. I mean, some people hate all kinds of orange. We can agree that Sherbert orange Tennessee is not maybe the best. I mean, I love Tennessee folks. Don't get me wrong, but
right.
I had a cousin who's a Tennessee cheerleader. Tennessee's are good people.
Wow, you have to say that because we're going to Tennessee.
Yeah,
exactly. This is all a lie.
It's all exactly. Yeah. And by the way, Tim, what is your dog's name again? By the way, you're bringing your dog?
Asha. I'll show you a picture of her. Here we go.
Bring in Asha. On the other phone. There we go.
Okay. There we go. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. And William, do you have a dog? Are you bringing your dog with you? You gonna be my dog? We're just gonna be hanging out.
No, I'll be everybody's dog. Sure, I'll be. I'll Iggy Pop this shit.
You made it weird again, Gary. You made it weird.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that sounded weird. Yeah, it's good. But I'm very excited. By the way, too, the Young Williams Center is really excited about having all three of you come through. We're going to be having some television interviews, and we're going to have some radio interviews. I know that a newspaper is going to be doing an article on Kevin Mr. Shockley, by the way, too. And by the way, for those people who want to know, if you go to hip2b².com, hip2b²comedy.com, and you buy a ticket and you use Shock, you get $5 off. Or if you use Child, which is for you, Mr. Childress, you get $5 off. And if you use Doggone, you get $5 off too. So you want to make sure that people, if you like one comic more than the other, definitely go in there and use that coupon code to be able to get in.
Because we will be comparing at the end with each other.
Isn't it weird that the animal shelter center is called Young Williams Center, and my last name is Young, and his first name is Whit? It sounds like we made it up, and we're like gonna pocket the money. Make it clear that we are not.
Keep your voice down, sir.
First of all, that's a great idea. You just say, look, this comedy show's for charity.
Yeah. For dog charity.
Wow.
That's the best kind of charity.
Young Williams Center.
It'd be funny. It'd be funny if we found out Kevin's middle name is Center, so it'd be like perfect. Like all of you.
Scam.
Yes. Well, I don't want to take all of your time. I just wanted to make sure we got everybody together. I love doing these live streams to just throw everybody into a pot and just try to get them connected up. So you're going to be coming in on Thursday. Is that correct, Tim?
Yeah. And Friday morning is something. I don't know what, right?
Right. And William, you're coming in on Friday. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm coming in Friday.
Okay, cool. So just let me know when you arrive. Looking forward to it. We're definitely going to meet up with everybody and try to get that together. Remember too, we have a bar in the club. So if everybody is coming to the show, make sure you can get your drink on and all of that stuff. There's no drink minimum. Just go to the club a little early, get your drinks. We'd love to have you there. And any parting words from anybody? Anybody would like to say anything before we sign off here?
Hey, what did you guys hear about that poop cruise? That was Carnival, wasn't it?
I'm not allowed to talk about that.
That's not what I heard. I don't look.
Wow, that was
fun. Everybody just running around scatting. It was a real jazz thing.
I'm doing stand up on the next sub that's going to look for the
I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right, Mr. Williams or Young.
Yeah.
Well,
Asha likes martinis, so just have one ready for her.
We got our mojitos. We got so much mint in our yard. Yeah.
Nah, that's good.
And if she needs to just run around too, like we've got a backyard, we'll definitely be putting her in, and she can run around the city. By the way, so Knoxville is actually rebranding itself as the dog city of the United States. They really want to go to the dogs.
But enough about their women.
Yeah.
Right.
But not in the park. They can't have any in the park.
That can't. You can have them, but not collectively in the big concert hall. They don't want a bunch of dog defecation. Yeah. So anyway.
All right.
Anyway, so with all that being said, William, you got any parting words?
Use promo code CHILD. Come on, get on my side.
Got it. And for Shock, there you go.
I say don't use promo code CHILD. Use promo code CHOCK.
Yeah. And then, or if you want to sponsor the Young Williams, there you have Doggone there for you. So
I think the dogs are going to win.
I think the dogs are going to win. I definitely think so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this out with a little bit of one of your sets. You guys stay on. I'll talk to you after this, but I'm going to play a little bit of set from Tim so people can have a little taste and see everybody in 2 weeks.
My parents, they got married. They stayed married a long time, but then they got divorced. 40 years, and then they got a divorce. Can you believe it? Don't worry, I got custody of my mother. I like to get married, and I want to grow old with someone. I think that's nice. Sometimes I see a lonely older person. That makes me sad. I was in the Barnes & Noble reading. I'm sitting next to this guy. He's like 90. We're both reading. I think he was reading. He might have passed away. I couldn't tell. He was sitting real still for a long time. He was alive. This cute college girl went up to him and scared him. She's like, "Excuse me, you look like my grandpa. I just want to say hi." He's like, "You must have a nice grandpa." As she walked away, we both checked out her butt. I felt like I just got a visit from the ghost of pervert future. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna handle it differently. If I live to be that old, I'm gonna hit on women my own age. I'm serious, and I'll tell you why. If you live to be the age as a man, women will outnumber you 9-1. I'm gonna be busy, okay? I'm gonna get a tattoo on my arm. It says hip breaker right here. I'm gonna have good pickup lines too. What's up, baby? You look osteoferocious tonight, girl.